Hello, hello. What is up, everybody? It is Call. You are watching Talking Ball, and I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host Jose. How are you doing today, Jose?
Yeah, I'm all good. For me, it's now it's nearly 10 past 4 for me, but for you, it's still the morning time. So I'm coming towards the tail end of my Friday. You're not even halfway through your Friday.
Nope, unfortunately not. But yeah, life is good. Things are good. Got work later, of course, but just got to get through one more day and then off tomorrow. So
Well,
you can't beat that.
put it this way: it's light where you are now, and it's already dark where I am.
Yeah, no, I hate the time change in these shorter days. Ugh, it's nasty. I'm not a big fan. And my birthday is in a couple weeks, so like it's always I never get to have a sunny, nice birthday, but that's okay. Who cares? But we've got some people in the house already. Jose already jumping in. Nita saying hey, throwing in her predictions below. Nita, thank you so much. Thanks for you popping in. We appreciate having you as always. Um, and then here's our daily kind of reminder to two different streaming onto two different channels right now, LTL Cockrell and Talking Ball. So if you can, please, like and subscribe to both channels. Watch on whichever one you feel like it, of course, but and do whatever you feel like, of course. But if you could, it would be very helpful if you could like and subscribe on both channels.
And as it's a dual stream, we can see comments from both channels. They stream through, they funnel through to the same one platform, so we can see all the comments that are being said.
Yes, yes, yes. And everybody, if you have been following the show for long, you know Fridays are prediction days. So coming up soon, we'll wait until maybe a couple more people funnel in here. I'm not sure if they will, but we'll see kind of who else we get going as things go along, and get your predictions as always, and add them to our league. We'll go over to the table as it stands right now. But first, there's some more hellos. We gotta get through. We got Adrian Stroka in the house. Good afternoon, all, says Adrian. Good afternoon to you, buddy. I hope everything is all well and good in your hood, my friend. Um, but yeah, and again, and then also, I just wanted to add this. So my title to the last video was a bit clickbaity, allegedly, but I was just trying to create a dialogue and kind of echo what I've been seeing and hearing on Twitter, on other platforms. And then we, as if you watched, we kind of argued against that point. So yeah, I just hope that I didn't really irritate anybody with that. Was again just trying to create a dialogue. So no worries there, no harm, no foul. I don't think. All. Have you got to watch much of it yet, Jose?
Colin, you faded out completely, and then all I heard was you say, "Have you got much to watch of it yet?" That's all I got, because you keep fading out and then coming back in. So I don't know. I missed the first part of whatever you said.
Basically, did you get a chance to check out the press conference, Postecoglou's press conference?
I've seen a little snippet that was on Sky Sports. I haven't seen the released version yet. So yeah. I couldn't tell you about injuries because I haven't seen the release version. I normally try and catch the release version, but I saw the Sky when he first came out, and Sky were doing it. But they only picked up the parts that he was talking about Man City and stuff like that. I didn't catch the injuries. I didn't catch anything at all because I've not watched the full version yet. Have you caught it?
Just same as you, just bits from different from different sources that will then release their little bits. So I've seen some stuff. I've seen them talking about the possibility of the sin bin rule for certain types of challenges, and I love that his response was to just bin that whole idea. I thought that was hilarious. They said, how do you feel about the idea of a sin bin? And
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and he was quite right, Colin, in what he said. He said keep them well away at the end of the day, and I think I've seen. Obviously, I've been working, but in the background, I can hear from Sky because I've had it in the other room, and I can hear snippets of all the managers being asked the same question today. And the basic gist, if I've heard right, the basic gist I got from all the other managers was, let's get what we've got right first, and then worry about the rest of it later. But Postecoglou, I think, was the only one that went as far as to say, no, keep it well away from football.
I like Postecoglou because he's a bit of an old school figure. You know what I mean? I feel like he represents sort of a time in football that has passed, but that we can still take a lot of, good ideas and good things from. He frequently talks about how whenever he played, the referees were the cops. You know what I mean? Like you were afraid of those guys. Those guys could ruin your whole day, and you had to give them respect. And so I think for people from his generation and with his mindset, it's kind of hard to fathom that we even have this problem to begin with. You know what I mean? That the referees aren't getting their respect. That for an old school guy like him, it's not easy to wrap his head around. I don't think. And hopefully he's instilling in our players. Sure that they don't spend much time quarreling with the referee unnecessarily. We've got. Oh, sorry. I interrupted.
He was the only one that I know that I could hear that turned around and went full blast and gave an out and out answer of no, keep it well away. But yeah, like I said, most of the other things I heard from other managers, because I think they pretty much covered every manager today. Because obviously the games have been played Saturday and Sunday, so they covered people that are playing Sunday as well. So yeah, I think they're pretty much the others were all saying along the lines of, as I just said, we need to get our house in order first to get everything right with what we're doing with VAR at the moment before you even start looking elsewhere. Some people are saying you can't get this right at the moment. Why tamper with anything else? And Postecoglou obviously went the furthest by saying he was an outright no to it straight away.
Yeah, I love that, and I do love a bit of something I still like to see, in kind of a juxtaposition to like the certain other leagues where it's very common for the referee to be surrounded by 4 or 5 players all kind of yelling at them at one time. I would just like to see our team not be a team like that. And I think with him at the helm, I don't think we ever will be. So I think that's a good thing. But yeah,
we might need to ask the chat if they want to play a game of fill the gaps.
Do what now?
I think we might have to ask the chat, do they want to play a game of fill the gaps?
We can do it.
No, you did it again. You were talking, you went off. I'm waiting with bated breath for your next word, and your next word came out. So I don't know. I got you when you finished talking, and then when you started again. So there was a gap in between. So I'm saying we'll play fill the gaps.
There you go. Just kind of put in the chat what you think I said. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. So Adrian Sroka did catch. It seems like maybe a little more of the. First of all, Ellie's here. Says hi, Colin, Jose, fine gentlemen. Can we beat City? Yes, but we'll have to be at our very best, lads. It's going to be so exhilarating if we do. Yeah, I had this banner made up, and it says, if he's a man's man. I mean, he's the kind of guy that a lot of people would kind of have been dreading to go to City with a depleted squad, and seeing what they've got, what they've been able to offer. But he seems excited. He seems ready to test out our boys, to see what they're capable of, to see, how much of his style and philosophy he's been able to implement. I think if he's excited, then we should be excited as well. I think we need to get behind the boys. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, and I mean, it makes sense logically, but resigning ourselves to a loss already. And I don't think that's necessarily, I don't think we need to do that just quite yet. City have shown they're not invincible. City have shown that, that goals can be scored against them. Goals have been scored against them. They haven't, didn't they lost points to Liverpool last weekend, right?
Who's that?
City?
Yeah, 1-0.
Oh, it was 1-0. So yeah, they dropped some points to Liverpool. So I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, it's not a done deal. I know that the cards are definitely stacked against us, but yeah, definitely not a done deal just yet. But Adrian has told us that Sarr is out, according to the press conference.
I wonder. I wonder whether. Sorry, Adrian, thank you for that because I've not seen it. But I wonder what if they've announced what's wrong with Sarr, because last week Sarr was being looked at. We're monitoring him for the week, but nothing's ever come out about what's wrong with him. And I don't know. He's out, but I don't know what with, how long for. I know nothing at all. So, Mr. You got Ellie there. Look, Ellie's saying, "Hi, Carl Jose, you fine gentlemen. Can we beat City? Yes, we can, but we have to be our very best, lads. It's going to be It's going to be so exhilarating if we do." She's bouncing on both channels. Good old Ellie, which is
good old Ellie. Appreciate you, Ellie.
And I think Adrian's bouncing on both channels as well. Okay. Got Bobby K. Sorry, lads, just a quick pop in to say hi and hit that like button. We'll send you my predictions on WhatsApp later. And I've responded back to Bobby already because Bobby's not feeling well. And I saw him yesterday. No. And he is all virused up and he's not well at all. He's all bunged up and everything, so he wasn't well at all. So the fact that he's popped in, fantastic. Cheers, Bob.
We appreciate you, man. Get to feeling better. Take good care of yourself.
And then Adrian's come in and said, logically, it will be Basuma and Lo Celso midfield with either Højbjerg or Skip. Hill, Johnson competing for left wing, but I think it will be Davis, Emerson at centre back. But Ange may surprise us. So I'm not sold on that. If we're going to go and attack them, right, like he says we're going to, because I'll go back to the press conference. If I go back to the press conference now. So I watched the press conference with the first press conference today was done by Pep Guardiola. He was the first out of all the 20 managers to go first. And he turned around and he was asked about Postecoglou. Is he surprised about Tottenham and stuff like that? And he turned around and he said, why should I be surprised about Ange Postecoglou? I saw what he did in Japan. I saw what he did in Saudi, and he plays the same way wherever he's at. He wants to play the front foot, in your face football. And he said that Tottenham, even though Tottenham won all the games and still lost all the games, he said that Tottenham has still tried to play the same way, front foot football, all the way through. And he said it's to be admired. He said to watch what they did against Chelsea, he goes, to watch what they did on the high line, playing with 9 men and do that and squeeze the play up and so on. He said it's just amazing to watch. And he also went on to say that the Premier League is a better place with Postecoglou in it.
I love that. I love that a lot.
So they were his comments. He was also asked, Colin. He was also asked, do you expect Tottenham to adapt and change the way they play when they play against you? And he said, what, change the way they play against us? He goes, absolutely not. They're going to come at us. It's the way that he plays. And then he referred back to Japan, Celtic and all stuff like that and said, that's the way his philosophy is and that's the way he wants his teams to play. So as for changing it, absolutely not is what Pep Guardiola said about Postecoglou.
And I honestly think that with teams like this that also like to come out and play, I think that those are the ones we're going to have some more joy in. We still haven't shown that we're quite ready to break down. I don't feel like a very stubborn sit back type defense. So the fact that City come out to play as well, they'll be at home. I think that could bode well for us and leave some gaps for us to exploit, perhaps, if we are on our game.
And then when Postecoglou was asked the question, Postecoglou turned around in his interview and in his presser, and he said he's not going to change the way he plays. He's going to play exactly the way he wants. Why should I change? If you're trying to instill something to people, why change it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with all that being said, my prediction was fluctuating, and then I heard the press conference today. And I'm now sold on my prediction, which I won't reveal yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not yet. But are you? I guess this will kind of give it away. But are you looking forward to the game, or are you just waiting for it to be over?
I most certainly am looking forward to the game. As I said, and I'm not. I can't. I'm going to go back and I'm going to rinse and repeat and say the same things over and over again, just to make sure that I'm giving clarity and that people know exactly where I stand. Tottenham lost last weekend. We could have been 4 or 5-0 up by half time. And as Mia says, we couldn't finish our dinner. So if we finish our chances, then scores turn around and are different. So the game against Villa could have been a different result had we taken our chances. It wasn't for the lack of playing badly. And as I kept saying, I thought we played Ange ball for 70 minutes. And then after that, I thought we got leggy, right? So with that being said, I can only see a really good. I'm looking forward to it because I can see a really good game of football. I think that Man City have laboured of recent games. I think they've laboured. So I can see it being a good game of football. If Tottenham go to attack Man City, which no other team normally does at the Etihad, let's see what Man City are then made of as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And they say, Colin, they say that professionally and privately, the only way that you can measure yourself is if you measure yourself against the best. You've got to have a bar to measure yourself against. And if the bar for this country, for this league in this country is Man City, let's measure ourselves against them, even with a depleted team.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. I do have. Oh, it looks like I'm cutting out. Okay, I'm back. I do have a couple questions, real quickly, more like questions. Do you think, and Adrian kind of has touched on this, and so has somebody else here in the chat too. It looks like it might have been Ronnie. So do you guys expect to see the same center back pairing that we had last weekend? So I guess Emerson and Davis. Do you expect to see that yourself, Jose?
Well, like I said yesterday, and Danny, big up, mate. You're back in the chat, and it's the same thing again, right? So you're saying the same thing again, right? For me, it's you've got to pick a team to nullify your opponent. We can only pick a team from the players that we've got. We can't borrow any players till our players come back. So we can't say to our club, give us some of your players. Now we can't do that. We have to play and pick a team from what we've got. And from what we've got and what we're up against. Now, wide, I don't know whether they'll play him tomorrow, but their fastest players in their teams are Doku and Haaland, right? Last week we were scared of, or apparently before the game, everyone was shitting themselves because they had Watkins and Diaby. Well, Diaby did nothing. Nothing for the whole.
We kept him very quiet, yeah.
For the 45 minutes he was on, he did nothing. Leon Bailey came on, who's rapid as well, did nothing. Watkins, yeah, he got his goal, right? So I'm now looking at the rest of the team, and like I said yesterday, what do we want? Do we think that Man City are going to play long balls in the air to Haaland, right? Or do we think that they're going to play it on the deck, nice and quick? On the deck, because if it's nice and quick on the deck, then you're not playing Dyer. If you think that they're going to put everything in the air, then some would argue that Dyer is good to go up in the air with him. But as I said, I don't see Dyer tackle. I don't see him challenging headers. So to me, I would say that if he's going to be true to his word, then there's only one change that needs to be made, and that would be Basuma in for Lola.
Yeah.
I wouldn't toy with the idea. I would not toy with the idea of bringing Højbjerg or Skipping and pushing Kulu back up toward the right. I would not toy with that idea at all. Personally,
he looked so good in the middle. He looked so good in the middle that I also want to say the same thing. I also wouldn't move him around much.
But the only difference I can see between the way Tottenham set up at the moment and the way Manchester City set up at the moment is that if Man City are playing with Doku, Foden and Haaland as their three, right, further up, you will see Foden and Doku trap back. Not all the way, but they'll trap back. With Tottenham, whoever's on their wide flanks, they don't trap back at all. That's the only difference I can see.
Yeah. Yeah, and real quick, I just want to say what's up to Josh. Josh is in the house, everybody, and he is looking sleepy. Josh is looking sleepy.
I've not been awake for very long, mate. I didn't go to bed till like 10 o'clock this morning.
Oh Christ! Well, glad to have you. Glad you could join. What's got your sleep schedule all messed up? If you don't mind me asking.
I've got a very ill 2-year-old at the moment, so
That'll do it. That'll do it. Hope she gets better ASAP. But yeah, very glad to have you here, man.
thank you very
We've
much.
we've just been talking, and I got my camera on while my internet will allow it. But we've been talking about the City match. Obviously
Yeah.
coming up. How how see I already got turned off to see how Pep Guardiola had nice things to say.
Yeah, I heard that.
positive.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, how are you feeling about the match, mate?
I'm not. Well, if you want me to be perfectly honest, I'm not feeling overly confident. I still think we're going to get battered, but I think it'll be a good game of football. I think we've touched on it many times before. At the moment, we're playing exciting front foot football. So regardless of the result, as long as Ange keeps to his system and keeps to his philosophy, where we are constantly pressing, there's no reason why we shouldn't get a point out of this. However, someone in the Twitter space did make a very valid point to us. Make a very valid point to me. If we draw with Man City, it only helps Arsenal. So in an ideal world, I either want us to absolutely clan City or City to absolutely clan us, and no in between.
So wait, what did you mean about relying on Arsenal? Sorry.
No. If we draw against Man City, it only helps Arsenal.
Oh, I got it. I get you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I care more about our league position than I do about Arsenal's.
I just don't want Arsenal winning the Premier League, mate. In all honesty.
I know, but if it has to happen while we're making, while we're doing our rise to ascendancy or whatnot, yeah. I mean, if it's got to happen, it's got to happen.
Yeah, I get that, but then you get the clowns that just think that because they're Arsenal fans that they're entitled to give every other team a load of shit. I mean, they do anyway. But could you imagine Lee Gunner if Arsenal won the league? This guy would be unsatiable.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't watch any of the Arsenal shit channels.
Oh. Yeah, me neither. Thank God. But no,
it's Twitter, mate. It's Twitter. That's all I'm saying.
Ew, Twitter. Yeah, gross. Real quick, just want to get through a couple more comments before we get a little deeper into everything, guys. Adrian Stroka saying that there've been a few academy players training with the first team squad, so expect to see them on the bench. Good point. And then Ronnie's in the house. Big up, Ronnie. Ronnie said one change to the lineup. Basuma in for Lolo. And then so he says that would make it Vicario, Poro, Royale, Davies, Destiny, Basuma, Lolo, Kulu, Johnson, Sun, Hill. So the exact same lineup as last weekend with just Basuma in for Bentancur. I don't think that sounds too bad. I do you have anything to say on that, Josh? Do you think that? I
want to see Dorrington play
in place of Royale
Royale.
Yeah, I mean that would definitely be. You know how we've been saying that Postecoglou doesn't seem like the type that's afraid to, throw players into some wild situations.
Oh, exactly. So he put Højbjerg as a centre back against Chelsea.
Right, and I mean didn't Johnson get his who did Johnson get his first start against? It was against Arsenal. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I mean, it wouldn't be completely out of character for him to give somebody a big chance in a big match. I don't know. I wish I knew more about the lad so that I could speak intelligently about him and what he offers, maybe that Royale doesn't, except for that I know that he's a center back by trade and not, by necessity.
I think this game though, it very much this could be make or break for Lascelles. Like he had a very, very good performance against Villa before he was taken off. If he can get a good performance in against City, I think this is a way to solidify his first team position.
Well, at least first team until Madison comes back.
There.
But yeah, no, I agree. It all depends on, I think, with him if he wants to stay here or not. You know what I mean? I think that's definitely going to be a big part of it. Is does he want to continue to be here? Because he's shown that whenever he cares, whenever he's got his heart in it, I mean, he's a good player. He's a great player. So it'll all kind of just depend on, him, I think, more than anything else, his attitude, whether he wants to be in cold England or sunny Spain, or you know what I mean. It all just kind of, it's all on his shoulders, I think. So we'll see what decision he makes. I liked what I saw of him last week. he definitely showed a bit of spark that we really desperately need.
To touch on Sarr quickly.
Please do. Yes.
Postecoglou did say Sarr will not be back before Richarlison.
Whoa! What happened? It's so crazy. It's so crazy that there's been an injury of that magnitude, yet we just don't know.
Well, he's turned around and said he's on the right path, but he's not. He won't be returning before Richarlison does.
Wow.
So it's something, but we just don't know what.
Happened during international break. Had to have, or
yeah. He probably picked up a knock somewhere. Like he's got he's pulled a hamstring or something.
Yeah, and you know these cats are always ready to put everything on the line for the country, and not saying at all that's a bad thing. I know that sort of sounded like I was talking smack, but no, I understand it. Yeah, it's a bummer though. I think we should keep a running tally about how often our players get injured on international duty, and see if it's higher than other teams on average, or if we just notice it more because there are players and we're looking for them to play every night possible.
We can't sit here and deny that international breaks are a main cause of these injuries. It's happening across the board. It ain't just us. Newcastle have got the same problem as well with their injury droughts at the moment. These international breaks are so common that because they're so compact now. Like we've got one every month up until from the start of the season. We've had one every month up until December. We've got 2 next year as well, and then we've got the Euros, and then we're straight back into the Premier League again. So this injury crisis is not showing any signs of going away anytime soon.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. I don't know. So if we make some good pickups in January, if we actually get the proper cover for our players and allow them to rest, I think that we could end the season on a relatively injury-free note.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Josh, I'll ask you. I've never got to ask you this point blank. I've asked a lot of other people. Do you think that our medical team's bad?
Yeah. Yes.
Interesting. I wonder 100%. How we could let that. How could we let that become a thing for so long?
Well, this is the same medical team. When Bentancur originally got injured, right? The medical team he was shouting out to the medical team to get subbed off. They ignored him for 5 minutes. He was made to play for 5 minutes with an injury. Harry Kane had come out and said that he'd heard a snap or something because he was right next to it when it happened. He said that he heard like a snap or something, like when Bentancur got clattered. And the medical team did nothing about it. You know, these are also the same people that are they're either too late to the gun or they're too early because they've pulled Maddison off before and stuck him in a boot as a precautionary error, as a precautionary measure, only to find out he's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I'd rather them do that. I'd rather
there's being too precautionary and then there's being over the top.
Right. No, I agree with you, but I think that he was obviously carrying a knock. With the Maddison thing.
Because he's got frail ankles, mate. That's what it is.
Well, shoot. I mean, he's got to have some kind of a weakness because he looks like a world-class player otherwise, and we got him for such a cheap price that maybe he does have a history of injury problems, but I'm still fine with it. But yeah, I mean, Jose, I know I've asked you, but I just want to get your opinion again. Is our medical team any worse than anybody else's medical team, or is this just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes?
It's alarming that so many players for so many clubs are picking up similar injuries. There's something definitely in the water. That's all I can say. There's something definitely in the water. I can't say that our medical team's any better or any worse than anyone else's because I think other people are suffering the same things.
Yeah. I think that maybe all of the extra added time might have a lot to do with it, and the VAR checks, that last minutes and minutes and minutes while these players should be keeping warm, should be keeping their keeping loose, keeping their muscles loose. They're it's kind of slowing down. Everything tightens up a little bit. I definitely think that could be a contributing factor. I know that we all like to see this added time at the end of matches. First, well, I mean, I can't say we all, but I do because teams will purposely waste time, and to see that finally added back on at the end is nice.
Yeah, you're getting 90 minutes of football. You're not getting 87 because someone's decided to waste 3 minutes. You're getting 90 minutes of solid football. Yes, I think it's good.
Yeah, but do you think though that it's contributing to injuries, like with all of these You know, do you think playing more minutes? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
you're
if that has
technically
anything to
not.
do with injuries or not.
You're technically not playing more minutes. You're not
I get what
really
you're
playing
saying.
more minutes. You think about it, if someone goes down injured for 6 minutes, right, and 6 minutes is added on, in the 6 minutes, these players they're just standing around doing nothing. They're not trying to score goals against each other in that 6 minutes. So no,
Yeah.
this whole injury crisis because of the added minutes is bollocks. In all honesty, it's bollocks.
Well, I'm not sure I 100% agree, but I don't 100% disagree. I just think that, you know, like Van de Ven's injury, it was, if I recall correctly, he pulled up after a big break where I think VAR was looking at something, and then he immediately like broke out into a dead sprint and then pulled up. I think that had he, I know it's ifs and buts and all that, but I think that had he been, you know, loose and limber and not allowed everything to kind of tighten back up, that he might not have gotten that injury. But again, that is a wild thing to say, I know. But I mean, Postecoglou himself said he was even thinking about throwing balls out on the pitch for the players to kick around, keep warm. I mean, if he sees it as an issue as well, you know, I kind of do too. But again, it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
You're frozen.
People are on my back. People are big up in each other here. We've got Daniel E saying, "Sorry, mate, disagree. Playing with 4 fullbacks up against City, Holland will have them for dinner. This won't be a contest, unfortunately, mate." Yeah, and that's what Daniel E. One thing, he is consistent. He is consistent with what he was saying yesterday, and I don't think any of us are going to be able to change his mind. To be fair, we'll just have to wait until Sunday to see. But Ronnie follows that up with, you know, there's no one else to play, and don't say play Dyer. And I'm sure you guys agree with that too. I mean, I would rather see the
I'd rather see Højbjerg as a centre back than play Eric Dyer.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout either. So you don't want to see any of this, man.
I do not want to see Eric Dyer in a Spurs shirt again in a Spurs shirt, like ever.
Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen then. I'll get him off. I don't know. I think that we inevitably will end up seeing him in his Spurs shirt again. But yeah. So I guess we can use it as a little bit of a segue. Do you see anybody possibly? Who do you think our January outgoings will be? We talked a little bit about incomings, but do you guys think that we're going to be offloading very many?
In an ideal world, Richarlison. There's these links with him going to Saudi, and if they come to fruition, there's some money there to spend, and then you can go out and you can get a world-class player.
I wonder how much we can trick the Saudi Arabian League into paying for him.
If you get 30 million for him, I think your quid's in.
Yeah, 30 million. You think that's going to be?
Yeah, I mean, we paid 50. 30, I've said this before. £30 million in today's market is peanuts. It's peanuts. You're not going to sign a world-class player for 30 million quid. You might find the odd gem that fits the system and he might perform well, i.e. James Maddison, because we did get him for a ridiculously cheap price and he is overperforming at Spurs. But
overperforming.
No one expected him to perform the way that he does.
I guess, but I don't think that his numbers are that far off of his numbers from previous seasons at other teams.
Yeah, I get that. But again, we got him for ridiculously cheap.
For sure we did. And then let me try to get through a couple more of these comments if I can here. Ronnie says he doesn't see us getting battered. City can be got at, and I think we can worry them. I love that. And then Daniel E saying 24 games left to play, so he's not worrying about Arsenal gaining an advantage, like you were saying, Josh, with the draw would only help Arsenal. So there's an argument to be made on that both directions.
They were top at Christmas last season and bottled it. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, see, exactly. And then we've got Adrian here saying Man City and Tottenham entered the 169th meeting between one another with exactly the same record. Both won 66 matches each and drawn the remaining 36 games over a 114-year period. That's pretty cool. That's a nice stat. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's kind of gives me a little bit of hope, you guys. and then Adrian's got some more stats coming. But yeah, so Daniel A brings up a question here. He's asking Ronnie, what about we can be got at with our back four consisting of fullbacks? Seriously, what, mate? But we got to remember that Ben Davis isn't exactly a fullback. Ben Davis, he is a fullback sometimes, but he plays in a back three quite frequently and has played in a back four for us a lot as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think that defensively that's where our biggest worry is, of course, but Postecoglou has always been the, like, you score 6, we'll score 7 type of manager. So I didn't think the defense is where we were ever going to win this match. You know what I mean? I didn't think we were ever going to get a clean. I don't think we're going to get a clean sheet. You know, I think Vicaria is going to have a lot of work to do. So, well, when are we going to also say this high intensity style football we're playing may be a part in all these injuries we're picking up?
Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. We did have, I mean, if I remember correctly, I mean, didn't we kind of have the same issue with Pochettino towards the end of his tenure? And that was the last, like, high intensity manager that I can remember, you know, us having, really. Towards the end of the season, you know, there was a lot of burnout with players. There was a lot of, you know, people picking up injuries. So that could be part of it. Do you think that he's got a point there, Jose, with that high intensity brand of football being maybe the cause of some of these injuries we're picking up?
There's no evidence to prove that, is there? Because people get Achilles injuries, people get metatarsals, people get ACLs, whether they're playing high intensity, low intensity, mid blocks, low blocks, high blocks. Everyone gets them. So, and not everyone plays high intensity football like us. Yeah. If we're going to see that, so it's a whole multitude of things. But like I said, there's something in the water because it seems to be happening to everyone. Okay. Some people haven't got it as bad as us, or they have. Newcastle have got it worse than us at the moment. But, you know, there's other teams that they're going to have periods like this as well, whether they're greater or to a lesser extent, but still going to have periods like this. And it can be a whole multitude of things. It could be the way that we play. It could be the way that we train. It could be the way that the weather's cold. It could be the way that the weather's warm. It could be the VAR. It's a whole multitude of things. You know, if we had the exact science on this, then I'm sure clubs would invest in that science because it's in their interest to keep players fit and keep players playing and not to get injured at all. Because like any employer, who wants to pay staff when they're sick?
Absolutely. Nobody.
And
definitely not Daniel Levy.
The thing is, you have to pay them while they're sick. So, you know, that's why I say that. Right. So you got, just before we go there, hold on. You got Daniel saying standing around in the coldest hay picks up his injuries. You got Adrian saying, Josh, mate, it's not the 6 minutes delayed because of VAR. It's players' muscles cooling down while they wait. Daniel Lee says, I read the other day Spurs have no interest in selling Richie in January. We're stuck with him. Adrian says, Lloris and Dyer will probably go in January as both service the requirements. The reason why Ange won't play Dyer again. And the last comment, and so we're up to date, is I'm looking at it more from we've not been playing pressing football for the last 4 years before this style changes, and we are worst injury crises before any of their managers. But we haven't got all the same players playing that have played in the last 4 years in that system. We've got some players, but the majority of our first 11 and the majority of our players that are injured did not play in the last 4 years. And
good point.
We have Mr. Schroker.
Adrian! Hey, what's up, buddy? Long time no see.
Weekly appearance.
It's nice to have you, buddy. You doing well?
I sent you the link about 15, 20 minutes ago, and I think hasn't Adrian received it yet?
I was posting all shit in my chat, like in my group.
Okay, fair enough.
So sometimes when I'm on podcasts, I'm busy. I'm multitasking. You know, as you have to when you're.
God, son, lovely to.
Anyway, on this subject of injuries and high press, I think Jose and Dan have both got, you know, valid points. I mean, I question this. I remember when Poch was at Southampton before he came to Spurs. And they came out the traps flying. Everybody's saying, what's this new kind of football, blah, 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 and all that. But Southampton didn't have a squad like bigger teams like Spurs had at the time. And they fly until about Christmas. Then they started getting a load of injuries. So at that time, I didn't think much of it because we weren't playing it. Then he comes to us and we started playing it. And then you need a young team, I believe, for high press. You need players like really majority of them around at max 25, 26 years of age, really. Different,
I agree.
Depending what he's doing, if not younger. Now, I noticed when we played it, remember when we stopped playing a high press, suddenly Kane stopped getting ankle injuries.
That's a good point.
Like that, right? And same with Sonny. He was getting injuries in the press because they were taking, when you're pressing, you're taking more taps around the ankles. No one took more taps around the ankles than Moussa Dembele, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
So then I looked at it, I thought, is there any science on it? And there hasn't been any science to prove it one way or another. It just might be just pure coincidence, as Jose said, because teams pick up injuries. But then I know it's the same thing with Klopp and Liverpool. For the 2 years when they just come short and then they won the league, they were playing high press.
I think we might. I'm frozen. Sorry about that. Hopefully.
They won the league. They lost about 7 league games and they started picking up injuries all the time. So this to me, I mean, we've always, let's say we haven't, spoken kindly about the Spurs science team. When players are in a red zone, all right, there's times when come on, look, you shouldn't really be playing this game, but we need you in this particular game. You've got to go out and, do your duty for the club. You'll get that sort of time. Players will play with a knock or whatever if you've got an injury problems. I don't know. I mean, I think Dan and Jose have both got valid points. We need science on this because if it is that way, then basically what it means is that every 2 or 3 years you've got to change your squad for younger players. So and the other thing I noticed with the Poch team, I think after 3 years or 2 or 3 years of playing it, when we finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 4th, 8th, don't ask me why I remember that right. So you sort of think, and I thought players had got fed up with the high press that were there. I thought they'd given up, and it led to Poch getting the sack, and he did brilliantly to drag us to a Champions League final. So that's my take on it. I mean, it's sort of with the injuries are alluding to what Dan's saying, but as Jose said, there's no scientific proof as yet. Even with Liverpool and Southampton, it could be coincidental, but this needs to be researched really, because if it's having a harmful effect on teams, valuable players that you need, then clubs should be aware of this, coaches should be aware of this.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like what you said about having to basically refresh your team every couple of years. I mean, the good teams do that. The good teams do that, and it seems like, and when I say the good teams, I mean City as a perfect example. They play a pretty high intensity game, like not quite as high intensity, but a similar ilk. And you're right. We do see them constantly refreshing their team. They don't hold on to players longer than they should.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to be ruthless like that if we're gonna continue at this at this level with this manager and this style of football.
The one caveat I would put with that is with midfielders in general, like a Moussa Dembele, who probably wasn't the fastest, but with the midfield, it is so busy in midfield. It's so hectic. Your midfielders are going to pick up injuries. They're going to pick up yellow cards because you're going to have to put your foot in straight away. You might miss time of tackle, things like that. I mean, it's the area where games are won or lost. So, midfielders, I expect them to pick up more injuries than actually do fullbacks or centre backs. I do, unless you've got a flying fullback who's sent in a touch. You know what I mean? But yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Josh? Are you with us?
I am with you, mate, but I come in halfway through the point, so I didn't quite catch you.
Basically, yeah. You want to hit him again, Adrian, with it?
Well, basically, we need science done on this because the Southampton team under Poch, they picked up injuries playing a high press. They didn't think when they got through at Christmas. We did under Poch. Kane was getting ankle injuries. Son was getting ankle injuries. Isn't going off playing a high press. Liverpool after they won the league. They played the press for a couple of years because they lost 2 trophies in the first year. Klopp was on in the first couple of seasons. Klopp was down. They win the league. Then they picked up a load of horrendous injuries. But this could be coincidental. I mean, don't know. We need research on this because you can't afford. Even though I suggested you have to change your team every 2-3 years to play the high press, clubs can't afford to change that amount of players or replace that amount.
Again. Sorry about that.
I mean, I can see the point. I can see the point. Like, there is science that needs to be done because we can sit here and argue all day long until the cows come home. High press causes injuries. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. I'm pretty sure that it does play an element. It does play a factor towards why players are putting up all the time. If you think about it, you're playing a high press, you're playing high intensity, you're constantly running, your leg muscles are constantly moving, they're constantly working. There's no standing around. You're doing something at all times. So I think there is some element towards playing high press football constantly that can make injuries happen. However, I don't think it's the sole reason why injuries happen.
No, it isn't.
You can tune your body. You can train your body to play a certain way. And I think that's what's happening with this Tottenham squad right now, which is why we're constantly playing the same style of football, regardless of whether we've got injury crises or not. We don't fix what isn't broken.
Well, I mean, it's not just that, is it? Because you find it's the fast players that always seem to get hamstring problems.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you not so much midfield players. No, they can pick them up, but it's not as common. It's usually a fast-paced player that fans are going to miss, isn't it? It gets a hamstring problem, and other injuries are picked up. Positions can affect sort of what injuries you get. You know. So,
going back to a comment you made earlier, Adrian. It was about, you said the young ones had been training with us again. I think that's what you said. That was your comment. One. Yeah. You said the young ones. Okay, so I'm just thinking out loud now. So last week we couldn't even fill the bench. Last week we had 2 goalkeepers and 6 outfield players, and 3 of them outfield players were Dorrington, Donnelly, and Villiers. So I'm looking at this week, and out of the first 11. We've lost Lolo, but Bissouma's come into the squad because he wasn't there last week. Do we think that there's going to be an extra spot for another young'un on the bench? Or because there's definitely an extra spot because we only had 8 and not 9 subs. But we had 2 goalkeepers last week. So could there be a possibility of having 2 extra youngsters on the bench? Or will he go with one goalkeeper and one extra?
I think that's definitely going to happen. I'm hoping, like Josh is, right, that after Dyer played that game, the last game for us, he played him in a pre-season friendly.
Yeah.
And he looked slow and divery. This is before Ange was trying to impose his philosophy on the team, which still hasn't quite got into all of them yet, but it's getting there. And then he played him again, and he wasn't that convincing, was he, at Wolves? So I think Ange has seen enough, and I think he'll think, well, anything's better than Dyer. In that position, because Dyer's not a central defender, is he?
But Dyer will be in the squad. But Dyer will be in the squad, though. What I'm saying is that if we look at the squad for last week, the first 11 and squad team that we had last week, the subs bench, there was Lolo for Bissouma for Lolo goes into the first 11, but on the subs bench there was 2 goalkeepers and only 6 outfield players. You're allowed to have 9 subs, but we only had 6 outfield players and another goalkeeper. We were 1 sub shy last week. So this week, are we likely to get 3 extra youngsters in on the subs bench, or will he go in with 1 extra youngster and go in with 2 goalkeepers again?
I think he's going to go in with more than 1 extra youngster. I think Donnelly will be on the bench.
Donnelly was on the bench last week, and so was Torrington.
But I also think that if he's going to need someone extra in midfield who can play at the back as well, Brook Lyons-Foster could come in, could even start. Could even start. I mean, this is a bit left field, right? But he could start.
You got a shout for another one.
There was was it Reese? I forget his name now. See, all these kids look good. When I've watched them on Spurs play the academy games, they all look good. When they've been playing against their own level, they've been very good. When they've been playing at EFL Trophy Cup, where you'll meet teams in the second division,
first and second,
and they played Peterborough and all that away.
Cambridge, Peterborough.
They got done at Peterborough, right? And then you see the difference of the men against boys. That was more a men against boys thing, but where we do have units to be men against boys to match, like where we can get away with it, we can get away with it centre. Phillips and Dorrington will make Premier League players, right? They will. Now, Phillips is going to be out for a few weeks now, and you don't want either of them playing unless they're playing alongside a Romero, you know, and rather than the Romero than even Van der Ven, right? Because Van der Ven's still learning the game as well. Romero's a bit cute. He's been brought up in Argentina, right? So, like, if we're going to play a Phillips or Dorrington, even though Dorrington usually plays on the left, and Phillips is 6'4", and he's quick, and he's a good passer of the ball, right? But, you know, he's got to be able to do that at a higher level, isn't he? But the other youngsters, they've won every game, like, you know what I mean? I mean, like, they just look so good. I mean, young Mikey Moore's so young, 17 goals in 14 matches, a hat-trick against Croatia, and 11 assists or something like that. Jamie Donnelly, again, wouldn't mind seeing him given a run, something like 6 assists and 6 goals in 12 games. I mean, he is good. I mean, he come in as a striker, but I think he can play in midfield as well, you know. And one of the kids I like who's injured is Santiago. We got him.
Thiago.
Yeah, I mean, but then you look. I mean, I'm more confident of players coming through what I've seen on Spurs playing. I used to go and watch academy games than I have ever been, and that's not including the likes of Alfie Divine. Who's away doing all right at Port Vale on loan. Parrott's smashing at Excelsior, where we sent Marcus Edwards and all that before he went off, you know. So this academy is going to pay for itself. I mean, but the thing when people scream out young players, bear in mind that only 3% of Premiership Academy players ever become regular members of their first team squads. So why is that? Well, and most of them will come through teams like Bournemouth or Brighton or teams that we say are less wealthy. We don't want to like denigrate other teams in the league, but teams that are wealthy, that are more forced to play a youngster, you know, or their fans will have more patience with it. With top Premier League teams, you know, they said Conte played youngsters. No, they never. Only when it was forced upon them. Mourinho only played McTominay when it was forced upon him because the Man United squad was crap. And like, same with Mourinho, you know. So we have to find a pathway to bring these through, and they are good players. Not all of them will make it. Some of them, I mean, say Mikey Moore. He looks the best prospect, but he's young. He's only 17. He looks the best prospect out of the lot, apart from Divine out on loan and all that, right? But, you know, sometimes players do that at a level at 17, and at 19, they fall away.
Yeah, but
so you don't know. And it's still too young to put them in unless they're a real precocious talent, it's too young to blood them.
Yeah, but I look at it, right, Adrian, right? Arsenal had young players coming off the conveyor belt. They're not so young anymore. I'm talking about Saka, Martinelli, and players like that. They're slightly older now. But they came in as youngins at Arsenal. Man City have got Rico Lewis. They had Cole Palmer. They've got McAtee. They've got Bobo, whatever his name is, that plays for him as well. Who plays in the midfield for him. So they've got all these youngsters, and they're given an opportunity and bled into the team. Liverpool have got that Bajcetic. They got Ben Doak. RV Elliott, so they got young'uns and they're bleeding them into the
Curtis Jones. Look, but this is just come to light more recently, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I'm going to go back a season or two, and Man City sold Sado, didn't they? Sold him Sancho off to Dortmund. He went to Man United. I mean, I like Foden that they got through. The others, they've only just come into the team, and
what I'm saying is that
looks okay.
But what I'm saying, though, is that all these clubs are giving opportunities to their young'uns. There's a pathway. They're giving youngsters a chance. So I'm going down the league at the moment. I'm Mountain Villa. Villa are fourth. Villa have got Ramsey that's come through, and a couple of other youngsters have come through at the same time as him. They've cut Cameron Archer, but he's gone out on loan. But they've been given a chance at Villa as well recently. Man United have given that 17-year-old a chance now that's had a game. They had players that came through that have now gone to other clubs. There's the boy that's gone to Luton that was given a chance. Garnacho's been given a chance. Palestri's been given a chance. So they've got young'uns that they're given a chance as well. I go to Newcastle United. They played Miley the other day. He'd been in the first team for the last 3 games. Subs bench last week. They brought 3 youngsters off the subs bench against Chelsea because they were so depleted they had to put youngsters. But the youngsters came off the bench. All right, they were 3 and 4-1 up when they come off the bench. Go down to Brighton Hove Albion. They're bleeding youngsters as well. I can go right through the league and tell you about teams that are bleeding youngsters. The only team that don't bleed youngsters at the moment is us. We're not bleeding youngsters.
I mean, two recent ones are Kane and Skip, aren't they? Right? They're the two recent ones.
I'm not saying you have to play. I'm not trying to make. But what I'm trying to say though is not to make you a first team player and you're going to be playing forever and a day they're in. I'm talking about pathways, bleeding players in. Other teams are doing it, and we keep saying that we've got a manager that does it. We keep saying that we're going to do it. We keep saying that we lose players from the academy and players go and sign for other clubs because there's no pathway. Well, at the moment, all I can see, and no disrespect to Ange, but all I can see at the moment is that other teams are still giving.
I kind of think that the reason behind,
and we're not. I would have loved to sing Donnelly. I would have loved to sing Donnelly come on last weekend, to be honest. Rather than bring who did they bring on afterwards? They brought someone on. I thought to myself, why the fuck did you Skip? They brought Skip on.
So it's always Skip, yeah.
Why'd you bring Skip on? Why'd you bring Højbjerg on? Why didn't you give Donnelly a chance? Why, give Donnelly 15 minutes run out.
You could argue, right, that we do give youngsters a chance, and we have give youngsters a chance. One, because we're one of the youngest teams in the Premier League. Sarr and Udogie are 20. Johnson's 22. Van der Ven's 22. Geki, believe it or not, although it seems long, he's only 23.
They're all bought players. They will be
bought. So they would have bought in young players.
I guess
the other clubs would have bought in
young
players as well. I'm not saying the ones you named are not bought players, but they would have done it as well. So we do play young players, and Ange will play them. He will play them. But I think, I mean, I would have played Ashley Phillips the other week if Romero had been fit. But to play him alongside Dyer or Davis, I don't think that's fair.
Well, you got Josh saying that he wants to see Dorrington play as well, and he's a youngster. So Josh wants to see Dorrington play.
Yeah, I agree. But do you guys think? Go ahead.
So one of you guys, I think Adrian, you said before you want to see Donnelly given some minutes as well. Yeah. Feliz is I say I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see him given minutes.
I want him to get
Alexis start
minutes. So there's a lot of us that are saying, just here on the panel alone. Between the three of us, without including Colin at the moment, us three have all got one player in mind that we'd like to be given more minutes. So when's it going to happen? Because now on Sunday, it's the first game of a run of 4 games in 12 days. Well, all these players get a chance.
You also have the issue of like confidence, team morale, and all that. If you bring a midfielder in from the academy and you play him, and you play him against regular squad members that have been there every week. So if you was to play him, like, all right, some people might not mind if you played a different midfielder instead of Højbjerg or Skip. But what sort of message does that send to the bench? It's a very fine juggling act being a coach. Now, I would like to see Donnelly given game time. I think he's versatile, and I think he can play on the front, and I think he's creative as well, right? So I'd like to see him given game time. I mean, Santiago, yeah, I could name quite a few. How would they fare? I haven't got a clue. It's a big step up. I haven't got a clue. And normally, if you go back in the day, Jose, you'll remember, when you brought a youngster in, if you had injuries in the team, like, it would be when you knew the other 10 players could carry that youngster. They were virtually good enough to win the game without the youngster in the team. And first, we'd get 10, 15 minutes. If he showed a bit of character, like young Perriman coming aside, he would get even more, and then he'd get game time. Like Oddle when he came in at 17, Perriman came in at age. But they were exceptional players, right? So if you get an exceptional talent, when people say this kid from Newcastle, they brought him in, I haven't seen him, but he might be someone who's
just me lagging. If it's lagging for anybody else, sorry, I'm going to plug something in.
Sorry,
real quick, a little differently here. Are you? No, it's my fault.
We don't know. See, we always do this as a club, don't we? Every other team's youngsters are better than ours, and every other team's. And when we go out to play them, they're better than us. They're going to beat us. We're like that as a fan base. I think
I'm not saying that.
No, I don't. I'm always positive about winning. I've got us down to win 2-0 tomorrow. But I mean, But we don't know. But we always do this, and you get a lot of Spurs fans who saying, "All right, the academy are like 11 for 11 or 12 from 12 wins or something like that." Oh, why aren't we playing these? And a lot of Spurs fans have commented on these players. They've never even seen them play. I mean, now you can see them on Spurs Play, which is good value for money. You paid out 45, 50 quid. It's brilliant. I think it's fantastic value for money, actually. You watch all the Spurs games that evening if we're playing on the afternoon. So you get to watch all the Spurs games, plus when the academy games are, when they're on TV, even the, Women's Super League games or whatever the occasion ones, you get to see all them, plus all the other interests. It's a very good thing to have Spurs Play, actually, I think. But then you can see them and judge for yourself, because we all got opinions of favourite players. I mean, I'm a big fan of Kulu, and I know a lot of the fan base aren't big fans of him, So
mate, there's a reason I gave this guy props. I think we signed him 2020. We signed him 2021, and we signed him on deadline day. I called him to be signed on the 1st of January. I've got clips of it. I called it on We Are Tottenham TV. I called for him to get signed on the 1st of January. That's how much I rated that guy. I still do to this very day.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard of him at that time, so I'll be honest and just say I hadn't even heard of the boy.
Funnily enough, I had heard of him. I'd been put onto him. I'd even gone and watched clips of him and watched him before he even come to us. But I didn't know. So I knew a bit about him. I thought, this guy's a lump. What, he's only fucking
You guys
20,
were right. You guys
and then but I didn't know nothing about Bentancur. I've got to be totally honest. So I think he's a fantastic player.
I knew nothing about Bentancur either.
Bentancur.
Supposedly, he was meant to go to Aston Villa before we hijacked him.
Yeah. What a good hijack. What a good hijack. You see, he looked like he was going to destroy Villa on his own in that game at home and then got that injury, which was so cruel, And, well, it is what it is. It happens to other players. I mean, we've injured other teams' players at the time, and sometimes in the past it was deliberate when you had lots of Roberts there. But I mean, the game was different then, So yeah, but no, it was a reckless. See, if it's reckless, you get a yellow card. If it's considered dangerous, you get the red. I don't think it was dangerous. I definitely thought it was reckless. But half the fan base say he should have been sent off, and half say he should have been yellow carded. So anyway. And he probably won't play in the return match, Matty.
I wouldn't put him in if I was Emery.
And we don't want to go there with a vendetta. If our season's right and we're doing well, we don't want to go there and do that, because we're in a good position. Even if we lose tomorrow, we're in a very good position. We only need 40 on average since 1992. It takes 71.5 points to get top 4 in Champions League. We need 46 points. That's 15 wins and a draw out of the remaining 75. In theory, we could lose another 9 games and draw 2, and still, as long as we won the other games, we would still get Champions League football. Just think of that with the run of games we got coming up. We can afford to lose 9 games.
True. 9. I just don't want to push it to that close. I would just like it for one.
You don't want to see it, but
to be like a nice, easy, path to the end of the season. With the season Bale came back, we relied on him the very last day of the season to get, to get into European football. It would be really nice to have it all wrapped up and done before that, and not to have to,
And I don't want people to come along like some fans have been saying, Angie's naive, he should change. No, let's adopt a philosophy we're going to have through this club for years to come and keep playing Ange ball way. We had a tradition of 2 dare is to do at this club, and we always played attacking football. We was always famous for it. So let's continue in the same vein. I know it means we got our fast players at the back. We'll bring them in. Bring them in.
You're saying Phillips was fast. Can you imagine a back 4 that had Phillips and Van de Ven in it? That would be insane. Yeah, having 2 pacey center backs, I can't even imagine. So no, I mean, things are good. Things are looking bright. How long is Van de Ven's injury supposed to last? I know that there was talk that he didn't need surgery, so I know that much. But I mean,
it's a grade B. So there's 3 grades when it comes to hamstrings: grade C, grade B, grade A. Grade A is anything from 3 months onwards. Grade B is anything from 4 weeks to 12 weeks, and then grade C is anything up. He's from 2 to 4. And
so now he's
a grade B, so he could be out for about 3 months.
Wow. And then we need to obviously monitor it after that, because as Jose rightfully pointed out when it happened, that could easily become a recurring injury. and that's the last thing that we want. And I also don't want him to be constantly having to think about what he's doing, the runs he's making. He needs to just be able to play and not have to have, am I going to tweak my hamstring in the back of his mind, every run he makes. So
Romero's back after Man City, right? That's the time you're going to play Phillips, bring him in. If Phillips has got a bit of a knock, so I don't know if he's out for just a couple of games or a little bit longer, right? If not, Dorrington's fit.
And he plays for 4 weeks when he first went out. It's 4 weeks, they said.
So what? He's missed one.
He's missed. Is one or has he missed two?
He might have missed two
because he got injured. Sorry, he got injured and didn't play for the under-19s. He got injured in training, so didn't play. And so that break, I think it was in the second. That break, I think the second week it was his first week. Last week was his second week.
Sar's going to miss a few games.
He's not going to be back before Richarlison, but Richarlison's back in training now. So
yeah, Richarlison will be back playing for us by Christmas time. But it's only having in the squad because he is useful up front. That's about all with his effort and all that. And he's got this season to turn it around, or he's going to be kicked out. He won't be going anywhere in January, though, Richarlison. But Ange might decide I don't want him come summer, so he might end up.
Someone asked a question earlier, and I think you said something in the chat before you came on, Adrian. Josh, you said something as well, because Colin asked a question, and I never actually got involved in it. But it was like, who are we going to buy, or are we going to buy, or are we going to sell any players? And you both made comments, and it's a good question to pose, because at the moment I think there are some clear candidates to leave, or that can go in January. And for me, the clear candidates are the ones whose contracts are ending at the end of the season. So your Lloris and your Dyer, for me, are clear candidates that could go in January. We know that there's talk, we've been advised through different channels that there's talk about Roma wanting to take Dyer in January. And there was talk about Dyer wanting to hang about.
Oh, got some news here. Jed Spence Leeds could seal permanent deal for Premier League star in January. Joe Roden. Leeds made Joe Roden's loan move permanent in January.
Yeah, cool. There was talk about Rodon already. Yeah, there was talk a few weeks ago about him. They said he's had such a great season that they were thinking about signing him because they think they're going straight up to the Premiership this year. Is what Leeds think. That's their thinking about it.
Cool.
But going back to Dyer thought he'd get a better contract, but now that Dyer's been frozen out completely, do you think? And I mean, because I'm not in Dyer's head, but do you think he's got an eye on an outside chance of getting into the European Championships, and therefore that will make him say, "I need to move and get game time now"?
Well, I'm trying to think of who he gets in ahead of in the England squad. We know that Southgate really likes Maguire, so
yeah. But I'm not challenging who's better than or who's worse than. I'm just challenging. Would that be anywhere near his thought process, where rather than trying to hang on, he'll go if Roma puts the button in Jan and offered us 5 million or 8 million for him? Will he go? In his head, will he say, I'm going to take that?
I think that definitely be on his mind, and a chance to also reunite with the manager that he likes and got on well with. I think that could also be a contributing factor there.
Go on,
same as Johan Langer, as it's pronounced, and Chris Davies, the coach, and Scott Mann and Ange have had meetings apparently to discuss potential transfers. Now, incoming. So we know they would have spoken a lot about centre-backs. We've been linked with so many. Loads more are cropping up all the time, which is good because we want one in, don't we? We want that player in before anyone else. Dyer and Lloris going free up 2 of our 17 foreign quota. That frees up 2 spots. Sarr, I think, frees up a spot because he spent 3 years with us before his 21st birthday, even though he was in France. So my understanding is, I stand to be corrected, is that he is classed as homegrown. Like Santiago would be as well, Jose, if he ever made it in the team, because by the time he's been with us before he's 21, he'll be whatever, Now, there is a dispute. Someone said, well, you've got to be trained over here to qualify that way. I said, well, I don't think that's not my understanding of the rule. You can actually, when you look at the rule, you can interpret it both ways. So,
yeah, because Sarr, although he's been with us, was out on loan for 200
France,
minutes.
So, yeah, so you've got that. So we have to have 8 homegrown. That's why everybody's been going on about 2 players that are closing at the end of their contracts this year, Lloyd Kelly and José Ibarra at Fulham. But Lloyd Kelly's injured at the moment, so I think we're going cold on him. Last thing you want, and we looked at him a couple of years ago. This isn't a new look at Lloyd Kelly. We looked at him because he showed a lot of promise then, and then he had a lengthy layoff, I think. And he plays at left back, and he plays at left centre back, and he's captain Bournemouth, blah blah blah. But that don't mean nothing if he ain't no good, or he's always going to be injury prone. So ins and outs. I can see Lloris and Dyer going in January, as Dyer knows he's not. And there's also rumours of Bayern Munich with Dyer, believe it or not. And he's big pals of Harry Kane, though. He's big pals of Harry Kane. So, don't know.
The only other way I see anyone else leaving, Adrian, right? Because we've got to fill our squad back up. But the only way, because we've got to have a 25. But you can only change 3 players. You can only add or change 3 players to your squad. So it doesn't matter how many players you bring in. You can only add another 3. Get rid of 3 and add 3. So if you bought 4 players, you can only register 3 of them, right? So with that being said, there's talk about offers being made. So Rodon's not actually at the club at the moment, so he's not in our squad of 25. So if we got an offer for Rodon and accepted it, that wouldn't make a difference to the 25. Dyer and Lloris would, yeah. Then apart from that, you've got Torka Højbjerg and Torka Richarlison. Now the only way I see either of them 2 leaving is that talks have taken place already. Everyone's been sounded out and stuff like that, and that it's pretty much that the clubs can be agreeable on a fee. Because we don't want to lose either of them players and not have a replacement for them. Would that make sense to you, Adrian, or not?
It does, but I don't see with our current injury problems, I don't see Højbjerg going anywhere. I mean, the first priority will be to get the centre-back in. That's the word coming out that Ange wanted a centre-back, a fast centre-back. Right? He wanted a centre-back brought in, right? And there was talk of 2 players mainly, which was like, perhaps a midfielder or maybe another striker, because you can well see Jota coming on loan to help with our injury crisis before. It could be a buy-to loan, right? Which I don't mind, because then I love them deals, because then the player's got to prove himself worthy of you, So so Jota could come in on loan, but it'd definitely be a centre back, which is what we need. Personally, there's also talk. I don't know if you heard it recently about Sessegnon going out on loan.
Yeah.
But
I touched on that yesterday, mate.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would keep in here, because it's weird, isn't it? What's happening to Reguilon? I mean, I wanted to see more of Reguilon when he was at Spurs. To be honest, I did like what I see about him. I'm not sure he was a bit raw. He would lunge in, a bit like Emerson Royal used to when he was before he upped his game a bit. But he's not technically good enough, Emerson Royal, anyway. It's just not. He's nowhere near Porro's technique, right? And I've questioned Porro. I've been critical of him, but he played well in the last game after making an error in the game before. But so I'm not sure what Porro really is. I see him more as a midfielder, to be honest. I don't see him as an out-and-out winger, and I don't see him as a right back. I see him more as a central midfielder type. But when in the old days, when you had a defending midfielder, a central midfielder, and an attacking midfielder, and that was the way teams used to go. But
because at the moment, right? So we're talking about some possible outgoings. So at the moment, we reckon there's 5 possibilities for outgoings, i.e., players that we can get something for or move on, right? I think so. We're saying, we're not. I don't think we're talking about loan players, but if we are, we can include Sessegnon to that. So it's Lloris, Dyer,
Ndombele, Tanganga.
They ain't going to be sold in January. No one's going to buy them in January.
I even saw rumors that Tanganga's going to come back.
Yeah, that's if we can recall his loan. But if there's a no recall option in his contract, then we can't bring him back.
So what was you going to say about him, Dembele, Josh?
Well, like I said, and Ndombele, he's got his heart set on trying to prove himself at Galatasaray. So he could go there in the summer, not necessarily in January.
The reports from Turkey have been again conflicting. 1 minute he's shit, next minute the manager wants him. He's lost a bit of weight.
He made a pact that he did, like Josh just said. He turned around and said to them he wants to fight for his place and he's going to prove them wrong. And he's come out and said that. Didn't play that weekend when he said it. However, he's been involved in the games ever since that weekend. He played against Man United in the Champions League.
60 minutes, played for an hour, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was hooked, and they brought another midfielder on for him. And to be quite honest, I didn't see him do much, but he looked to be playing really defensive rather than attacking. So, and it's like none of the goals were his fault, but he did play the hour the other night. But to me, January, you're looking at Dyer, Lloris, the possibility of Højbjerg or Richarlison,
Joe Rodon,
and then Sessegnon if he's going out on loan.
And Man United might come in for Reguilon.
I don't think they will. I don't think Ten Hag's going to be there come the summer.
But did you hear the news today though, Josh? Malacia, who's the other left back with Shaw, he's had taken a turn for the worse on his comeback from injury. So he's going to be out for a lot longer than what they thought now. So he's not coming back anytime soon.
But again, it all depends on whether Ten Hag is there. Because Manchester United, there's not beat around the bush. They sign players the manager wants. So if Ten Hag's not there, what's to say this new manager that comes in, if they get a new manager, is going to want him? I don't think he will.
And I actually believe.
It's a tough one.
I believe.
I'm wondering why we were so quick to let him go in a position we were so light in. It really must have been something like Postecoglou just didn't like something that he saw from him.
But we weren't light at the time because Sessegnon hadn't had his injury then.
Okay.
Sessegnon got his injury really late in the window, didn't he? It's like a couple of days before the window closed or something like that. Stupid. He got it really late. Well, Reguilon's deal was done before Sessegnon got injured.
Okay, I buy it. I believe it. So, but that was after Perisic. We knew Perisic was injured at that point, though. So we were going to go.
Perisic wasn't injured at all either. Perisic got injured after the second or third game of the season.
Wow.
In training, because Perisic had come off the subs bench, hadn't he? He played in the Fulham. He played in the cup game against Fulham as well. So Perisic had played 2 or 3 games.
So
even more before he come off the bench. So we had Perisic. We had Udogie and Sessegnon at the time, but we let Reguilon go. I
think Reguilon will go in the summer if he doesn't go anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if Davis went. If because he's got a year in his contract. If Ange can get a tune out of Sessegnon, because Sessegnon at least he's versatile, can play anywhere on the left. So if he can get a tune out of him, if his hamstring has been really fixed, like they said. One of the muscles, the operation was supposed to fit. The kid's got talent. I know he takes a lot of stick off of Spurs fans. Anyone who's out the team for a month is, sell him, get rid of him. You've always got that, haven't you, right? So, but no, I mean, I like him. I mind you, I'm probably blinded by what I see for him when he was at Fulham. When we got but I like him. I think if you can get him fit, proper fit, I think we've got a good player. I mean, Lo Celso's got this season to turn it around. If Barca come in, he'd probably want to go. So, and Gil, if we can get a tune out of a few of these players, suddenly, we're looking strong,
And we haven't really seen Sessegnon get much of a chance with Postecoglou at all. So that will be something. We've seen him under the other managers, but not Postecoglou so much. Maybe a bit in preseason. I'm having trouble remembering that far back.
I see him have one good game playing at forward when he scored against Bayern Munich. It was. I see him play a game against Man City away when we lost, but he did ever so well against Jesus and Foden, who was marking him. He had to mark him. He did very well against them. And you can see glimpses. He's got skill. He's got technique. He's got more skill and technique than Emerson Royal. I mean, I know Royal plays on the right.
No, 100%.
Miles
100%. It's all confidence and confidence in his own body and whether or not he can hold up and not get injured.
Well,
I think he's one of those players
do
that's.
you think, in fairness to the kid who's had a lot of injuries, I mean, if he isn't no good, we get rid of him, we get someone else, don't we? So that's the solution at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But in fairness, we've yet to see the best of Solomon or even Johnson yet. And they're both vying for left wing.
So carrying on talking about this, Josh. You obviously go on Twitter quite often because you refer to it. But every time that I see any comments coming out from there, and I don't go on it much, it says like your last word on Spurs, Chris Cowling, all these people. They're saying that we're after a defender and a midfielder. They're the two priority things that we're after in January, and that we're not necessarily after a striker at all. What do you think?
Makes no sense, does it?
I mean,
well, the word out the club was actually for quite a while centre back and a midfielder was what Ange wanted. That's why they're saying it. They're reporting it from sources within the club. The links with strikers, we're always linked with strikers because we got rid of Kane, right? We're linked with Jimenez. Orban, who only scored 3 goals this season, I think, in the league and spent a lot of time on the bench. You know, we're linked with Tony. I don't want Tony.
What? You don't want Tony?
No, I don't, because it's
not for £100 million, I don't, mate.
It's not football. No, I know, I ain't knocking that. It's not football, it's gambling. I don't want to bring another player into this club who's got some sort of issues that are outside football that could affect us badly, right? I'd rather gamble on Jimenez. I don't want people like that at our club. We've had them, too many of them in the past, right? That have come, you know.
I mean, I don't know if gambling is as bad as like not being unable to control how much you eat and getting fat and lazy. You know what I mean? Like, I think you're probably saying another player that has bad habits. I think you're referring to Ndombele, but to me, they're totally different issues there.
Well, it's proper due diligence, isn't it, as well? It's got to be done. I mean, it's not just whether the player's good enough, right? Then you got to do, okay, what's his demeanour like? Is he a miserable sod? Is he a confident person by nature? You know, is he a team
respectful? Right? Going to listen to the manager.
Does he train hard? Does he listen? Right? There's lots of other things to take. Now he could have all the ability in the world. We've seen genius players in the past blow their careers, haven't we? Right? Well, I mean, in all sports, right? Because they're not dedicated.
Gaza,
you've got to be dedicated today.
Yeah, 100%. I can think of Kevin Prince Boateng. I mean, what was that one guy? The Gio
Adel Tarat.
Yeah. And Giovanni,
if he could pass a nightclub the way he passed the ball, it'd be brilliant.
Oh man, rough. But sometimes you need that brutal truth. I like it. But yeah, I hear what you're saying about Tony. I think that he would, walk right into our squad.
But that's only my opinion. I mean, if the club buy him, listen, I'll support Dyer, Davis. I support them all while I'm at the club. Yeah. I won't throw them under the bus. At the end of the day, I'll just say, I'll do a critique on it if I think they played good or bad in the game. And when we go, I'll say, look, thanks for your service, goodbye. I would never get into all this trolling and hate stuff. It's just not positive. It's not progressive. It doesn't help. It's not productive. It's just no good. It's not healthy.
Sure. Agree.
We'd never have booed Davison Sanchez. I think that's terrible, right? The manager picks the team. He picks the players he's got, and Ange, I think he's brilliant. I love Ange Ball. Long may it continue. I think he's already shown that he's on the level of managers we've loved in the past, like Burtonshire, Joel Redknapp, Poch. He's shown it. So, ignore the trolls and any negativity around them because, this season's a free hit and he's done well. He's got us enough points already to ride this bump we're going over. And it is a blip because we get them players back. We know we're going to win, go on a run. We will. We'll definitely go on a run.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you big time. I just want to say Alex Hilton and What's the Point FC are both in the house. What is up to both of you guys? I've been saying it. I've had the banner up that it's almost prediction time. Are you fellas about ready to get into predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome blossom. So we real quick though, we just want to say again, Jose and I are dual streaming this on both the LTEL Cockerel channel and Talking
What's
Ball
the point?
channel. And so if you could please, if you're watching on whichever one you're watching on, big up. Thanks for being here. But if you could just click over to the other channel real quick, like and subscribe, and then yeah, just continue watching it on the one of your choice. But yeah, it just really helps us all if you kind of spread the love around. So we're asking that you do that. And yeah, what's the point? Does like your governor's robe, Adrian. I was gonna put that up
Navy
there.
blue, this one.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. Very, very nice. But guys, we've got Prediction League, and I want to put up the most recent results so everyone can kind of see where we are. Let me turn off my camera before I cause everything to freeze again. So let's get the most recent results up here. So the table as of right now, let me get that out of here. Let me get that out of here. And let me get that out of here. So we currently have our prediction table right there. Up in first place, the man, the myth, the legend, Jose LTEL Cockerel himself is in first. And then with who we have here, we've got Adrian down in 20th. Adrian, you need to get some guesses in today and climb back up that table. And then we've also got myself in 9th on 22, and then we've got Josh from Speaking Spurs. He's in 17th on 12 points. So with that in mind, guys, if you're ready, we'll kind of get into to the matches that we've got coming up. And
I think before we start, I've got a complaint. I think Jose should be deducted 20 points for breaking financial fair play rules, right?
10 or 15 years ago or so, was it? Yeah. His transfer was dodgy, and there was agent was paid and it wasn't reported. Yep. All right. Well, again, guys, I just want to throw up again. Postacoglu is excited for the City match, and I think we need to get behind the boys and also be excited for the City match. Just want to throw that up there one more time.
So what I'll do is I'll go round, tell you the game.
Oh, I was going to say, I got them here too. I got them all.
Well, yeah, but that's not the first game. But anyway, we'll go around, we'll do the games, and I'll ask you three for your predictions, and then I'll follow whoever's in the chat, because I've already got predictions in here for four of us already. So I'll tell you what our predictions are already as well. Yeah? So the first game, Arsenal Wolves. Colin.
Arsenal 2, Wolves 1.
Josh.
3-1 Arsenal.
Adrian.
Arsenal 0, Wolves 1.
I love it.
Ooh.
Right, on that I've got 4-0 to Arsenal. Chris Meta Football's got 4-2 to Arsenal. Ellie's got 3-1 to Arsenal, and Nita has 3-1 to Arsenal.
And we've got Alexander Hill.
And Alex is saying 3-0. So I've got Alex in now.
Perfect.
What's the point still here?
I'm not sure. What's the point? Are you still here, my guy? If so, get us your predictions. If you got to tune in and out a little bit, we can get them from you at some point later too. But everybody who gets them in now helps us out a ton. So yeah, that might be all we've got in the chat right now. So we might be able to just go ahead and move on to the next one. If some more people show up, we can always go back a bit.
Okay. Next game, Brentford Luton. Colin.
Let's go Desmond on that one for me, please.
Josh.
I'm going to say 2-1 Brentford.
Adrian.
Brentford 1, Luton 2, just to be different.
The whole idea of this is to get the correct predictions and to try and climb up the table, Adrian.
I am.
Okay. And then Alex Hilton, I'm going to need yours for now.
Mr. Right. Alex.
So I've gone 4-0 Brentford. Chris Meta has gone 3-1 Brentford. Ellie's gone 2-0 Brentford. Nita Art has gone 2-1 Brentford. And Alex has gone 2-0 Brentford.
Boom.
Right.
What's the point? Has he put a score in there?
No. But if he does, we'll go back to him.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Next game is Burnley, Sheffield United. Colin.
Let's go. Sheffield 1. Sorry, Burnley 0, Sheffield 1. I'm trying to answer them in the correct order.
Josh.
Desmond.
Adrian.
2-1 Burnley.
Okay. And then I'm just waiting on Alex Hilton. But I've gone 3-0 Burnley. Chris has gone 2-0 Burnley. Ellie's gone 2-1 Burnley. Nita's gone 2-3 to Sheffield.
Wow. Quite a spread of answers on that one. I like that.
Am I the only one that's gone for a draw?
I think so.
At the moment, yeah. The only other person is Brian Daigle. Brian Daigle, if he doesn't send him through by kickoff time, my instructions are to put Desmond's for all 10 games. They're my instructions for him. He goes, if I can't get your results into you in time, just put me for a Desmond for every game.
It'd be funny if it ended up working out really well in his favor.
Well, it hasn't at the moment if you look at the table.
Yeah.
Alex Hilton, I'm just waiting on you. Burnley, Sheffield United, Alex.
Alex. He might just be thinking.
In the meantime, I'll go to the next game.
Okay, so you've got Forest, Everton.
2-1 Forest.
2-1.
1-1 draw.
I think Everton's morale will be low off their 10 points deduction. I'm going to go 2-0 to Forest.
Right, so the rest of the scores we've got at the moment is I've gone 3-0 to Forest. Chris Meta's gone 2-1. Ellie's gone 2-2. Nita's gone 1-2. The reason why I've gone 3-0 is a bit about like what you said. Their morale was down last week. They were at home, weren't they, against Man U? And they'd already been given that deduction, and they lost 3-0 at home. But this week, all the reports that are coming out from the FA is that there was a new rule that was brought in at the end of last season, and it looks like they've broken that as well. So it looks like they're going to get further points deductions.
Oh my God!
Before the end of this season, so they're apparently they're going to be hit with another points deduction.
Well, that's awfully crazy. Sometimes it just kind of shows you that it's not so bad over here on the Spurs side of things when you hear stuff like that.
The thing with these appeals, even though the Man City case, we don't know enough about Chelsea yet, who are guilty anyway. They've admitted their guilt. But the thing with the Man City case, which is going to be in September next year, people say it's too long. They say, oh, whatever they get, they'll appeal it, be lawyers. Yeah. Bear in mind, fans who want to see these clubs taken back a peg, I do, is the fact that to have an appeal on anything, you have to produce fresh evidence, or directly say that like we was harshly penalised. You can't sort of say like the decision was wrong. It might have been over severe, but it may be the right decision and a punishment might be too severe. So we'll see how this runs out. Patience.
Right, so Alex, I've got both your scores. You've gone 2-1 in both games. Next game we've got is Newcastle, Man United.
4-2 to the Geordie boys.
I'm going to say 3-1
to Newcastle. Home win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Adrian.
3-2 to Newcastle.
And then we've got Alex Hilton. In the meantime, I've gone 3-0 Newcastle. Chris has gone 4-1 Newcastle. Ellie's gone 1-1. And Nita's gone Desmond.
I like it when the answers are nice and different, because that means that the points tables are going to maybe be shaken up a bit. I can't wait.
It all depends, because I'd say at the end, because even if you don't get the score right, but you get the prediction right, you're still going to score a point. So you won't be that far away. In order to get away, you need to be scoring totally different to somebody else.
Right.
See what I mean? So, Right, the next match we have is Bournemouth, Aston Villa.
2-1 Bournemouth.
Ooh.
Right, Cole.
1-1.
Adrian.
2-1 Bournemouth.
And then I'm waiting on Alex. But in the meantime, I've gone 2-0 to Bournemouth. Chris has gone Desmond. Ellie's gone 2-0 to Villa. Nita's gone 4-1 to Villa.
Nice little split there. I like it.
Oh, the other thing that you need, 1-2, so he's gone for Villa. Right. Yeah, I'll talk to you after, Colin.
Okay.
Right. Tom Akron, hello there. What's the crack? Hello,
Hey,
Tom. Nice
what's
to
up,
see
Tom?
you.
Yeah.
Tom?
Glad to have you here, Tom. We're currently about halfway through our weekly predictions league for the results for the matches this weekend. If you'd like to play, you're more than welcome.
If you want to play, just give us a yes or a no, and we'll repeat the games for you, Tom. If you can let us know whether you want to enter or not, free of charge, and we do it every week. And the one thing I will say, just to remind everybody now that's watching this on playback, there's only fixtures are being played 5 games Saturday and 5 games Sunday. So therefore, on Monday, we will be announcing the results for the weekend. And in the Monday show, when we announce that, we will also be doing the predictions for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday's games next week, because all the 10 games are in midweek before the weekend. So the Monday show will be the results of this weekend, and then we'll predict the scores for the midweek games. So, Tom, he said yes. So, Tom, the first game, I'm going to get you in here, Tom. The first game that we're looking for is Arsenal versus Wolves. Score, please. What do you think the score in that game will be?
And Tom, again, good to have you, man. Really nice to have some new faces around here. So yeah, thanks for jumping in. Glad you found us. So yeah, we and just to let you know how this works, for a correct prediction, so say that you get, you say it's going to be Arsenal 3, Wolves 0. If Arsenal wins it all, you get 1 point for that. If you get the correct score, you get 3 points, and then it all goes into a spreadsheet and a nice table, and we update that every week. So just get us that in when you can, my man. I honestly think that this is going to be pretty easy for Arsenal, but I don't like saying that. I don't like admitting that that Arsenal are gonna. I don't know. It's. I mean, yeah. I definitely think Arsenal have got this one in the bag, but don't let me influence you, Tom. If you think that it's going to be something different, you get your point in.
So waiting for Tom. If Tom comes back and gives us some scores, then we'll plumb them in. But
Perfect.
For now, listen, I'm going to move on. So the next game is Chelsea-Brighton.
3-0 Brighton.
So 0-3, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go 1-1 again.
Adrian.
3-2 Brighton.
And Alex.
Mr. Hilton.
Chelsea-Brighton. So for people to make them aware, I've gone 3-0 Chelsea.
Wow, cool.
Chris Meta Football's gone 3-2 to Chelsea. Ellie's gone for a Desmond, and Nita R has gone 3-2 Chelsea. 2-1 Brentford. Yeah, Tom, you got to go back one, mate. I need your score for Arsenal versus Wolves as well, please.
But we do have the Brentford one, and then sorry. So we've got Wolves, Arsenal v Wolves.
Arsenal Wolves, Tom. And Alex, I need yours for Chelsea Brighton at the moment.
I'm gonna put on some music. It's a little quiet.
So 3-1 to Arsenal. Right. For Tom, the next game is Burnley Sheffield United.
Burnley, Sheffield, Mr. Tom.
And Alex, I need yours for Chelsea Brighton.
He's busy eating the steak, I'm sure.
And anybody else that's out there that may want to partake. Right. In the meantime, we're going to move on. Right. Liverpool, Fulham for us that are up to date.
4-0 Liverpool.
Liverpool 3, Fulham 1.
Adrian.
Liverpool 3, Fulham 2.
Burnley, Sheffield, is that 1-1? Yeah, 1-1. Right, the next one I need from you, Tom, is Notts Forest, Everton. Alex, I'm missing 2 for you for the time being. Right, so I've gone 4-0 Liverpool. Chris has gone 3-1 Liverpool. Ellie's gone 3-0 Liverpool. And Nita's gone 3-1 Liverpool.
Wow, if Liverpool doesn't pull this out, then it'll be lots of zeros across the board. And then this is the one that we're waiting on for Tom, correct? For the next one, it's Forest Everton.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
And
we've got it.
2-2.
2-2. Oh, a nice
Right.
Desmond there.
The next one I need for you, Tom, is Newcastle, Man United. Right, for us, we're on to West Ham Palace.
3-2 West Ham.
West Ham Palace.
Cole.
2 West Ham 2, Palace 0.
And Adrian.
1-1.
Right. So for that, I've gone 2-1, and Chris Meta Football's also gone 2-1 to West Ham. Ellie's also gone 2-1, and Nita R's also gone 2-1. So all the 4 that have done this earlier have all gone with 2-1s.
Wow.
So Tom, for you, I'm stuck on Newcastle Man U. Alex, we're stuck on Chelsea Brighton. And as for us, we're up to date. So I'm going to 3-2 Newcastle.
Boom. Yeah, that's gonna be a good match. That's probably the one I'm most excited for. That's not our match this weekend.
Tom, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, and for us, we're on the big game at the weekend, lads. What's your scores?
3-2 City.
Colin.
City 0, Spurs 1.
And Adrian.
City 0, Spurs 2.
You think we're not going to concede?
Yeah.
Vicario to have a game of his life.
So Tom, Bournemouth, Aston Villa. Right, for the other people that have gone, Jose's gone Man City 1, Tottenham 2. Chris Meta Football's gone Man City 4, Tottenham 1. Ellie's gone for a Desmond. And Nita R's gone 3-1 to Man City.
Wow. Come on, Nita.
So Villa 3-1, so that's 1-3 to Villa.
Right, I don't like doing this, boys, but I've got to shoot because I can't get
See you
this.
later, Josh. Take care. Right, for anybody that wants to join in, you can do. Otherwise, Alex and Tom, you're both now Chelsea Brighton.
If they're still there, I think Alex might have had to run away. But...
Beer Talk's in the house. Beer Talk.
Whoa! Beer Talk is here.
Beer Talk want to be putting his things in.
Yeah, Beer Talk. We've been doing predictions for the prediction table. Our prediction league. Are you down? Do you want us to kind of go back through the fixtures for you? Let us know. And then, sorry, what one did we say that? Oh, he says, yes, sir, he does. All right.
So we'll start with Beer Talk. Let's go Chelsea. Flag up Chelsea Brighton because that's where we're stuck on all 3 of them at the moment.
Okay, cool.
They've got more people joining. So as people join, if you want to enter, let me know and I'll put them in. So Tom's gone 2-1.
Boom. And we got Chris in here.
Sorry, beer talk. You can start now. Boris Britt. Hold on, Boris.
Boris, what's up, buddy? Nice to have you here, man.
Has Boris Britt played before? No, so it's his first time, so I'll put him in now.
Boris, good to have you in the house, my man. And same with you, Tom. Again, it's really nice to see your new face. Beer Talk is not a new face, but it is another face that I love to see.
Right, Boris Britt has gone. Boris Britt, I'd go Brighton 3-1. So Boris Britt is on the Brighton. Boris Britt, stay with us because we're going to come back to you. I'd go 3-1. So that's 1-3.
And then Tom, I'm with you. I'd love Brighton to beat Chelsea, and I think they actually might. I don't know. It'll be a tough one as well. Chelsea haven't exactly been on it this season. So
Alex Hilton is the only one I'm waiting on.
I think Alex might have had to run. If you see this later and you haven't gotten them to us, WhatsApp me and I will make sure they go to the boss man over here.
Beer talk. Give me your prediction for Chelsea Brighton.
Get that back up for him. Mr. Beer Talk. Talking beer. And hey, Beer Talk, do you have I haven't ever checked. Do you have like videos on your channel where you talk beer? That would be interesting. I need to check that out. Boris Britt says, well, it seems Chelsea only turn up against top teams, aka just playing dirty to get cheap goals. Yeah. Agreed, Boris. Chris, Meta Football TV would like you to know, Adrian, that you're looking lovely this evening. So, Beer Talk, I'm sure that your face is beautiful, and I would love for you to come on the show someday, and everybody can see it. That'd be lovely. And again, while we're waiting, please, everybody, subscribe to Jose at youtube.com/ElTelCockerel. If you're watching on Talking Ball, then go on over to El Tel Cockerel and like and subscribe there. This is a dual stream, so please hit the like button and subscribe on both channels as it helps us both enormously.
Right, so the next match for the three people at the moment is Liverpool-Fulham.
Liverpool-Fulham.
So this is for Tom, Beer Talk, and Boris Britt. It's Liverpool-Fulham.
What you guys got? If Fulham get anything out of this match, I'm going to be incredibly surprised, but I'd be happy, obviously. I've always had sort of a soft spot for Fulham. I don't know
Alex
why. I guess
2-0 to Liverpool. Right, Alex, you're back, so I'm missing you. Chelsea versus Brighton, Alex.
So, Beer Talk's got
2-1 to Liverpool. Okay, Boris Britt's gone 2-1 to Liverpool.
And then Beer Talk 2-0 to Liverpool.
Tom's gone 3-0 to Liverpool.
Nice. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for Fulham. I don't know why.
Chelsea 2 with Brighton for Alex Hilton. Right, go. So, Alex, you're now up to date, mate.
Yeah.
So, the only person I'm missing, unless I've seen it, is Beer Talk. Oh, 2-0 to the pool. Okay, so it's 2-0. Right, the next game for the four people that are playing at the moment is West Ham Crystal Palace.
There it is, right there, guys. I think West Ham will be pretty invigorated by their cup win, but again, they're European.
They travelled though, didn't they? Yeah, they travelled though.
That's true, a long way too. I think. I don't think.
Boris Britt 1-1. Okay, so Boris, I'm going to stick you in.
Boom. And it's poo, not pool. Beer Talk points out to me, so sorry about that.
Alex Hilton 2-0 to West Ham.
Yeah. It's because of all the players that we've sent them from playing Keeper or West Ham.
2-2.
Boom.
And now I'm just waiting on Tom.
Mr. Tom
West Ham Crystal Palace, Tom.
Markkinen? I think that's how you would say that. That's a cool name you got there, Tom.
Does it fend for yourself?
Yeah. So sorry. So we're waiting for Tom for West Ham Palace. If we got to go to the next one, we totally can, and then kind of come back. We're getting close to the end, everybody.
There you go, Adrian. You've got Beer Talk saying good morning to you, sir.
Hi, Beer Talk. How you doing?
What else we got?
Tom's coming in now.
And he says, always great to see you, sir.
Good to see you in the channel. We're trying to get this podcast booming, both of them.
Yes, exactly.
So, Tom, if you're still with us, we're stuck with you on West Ham versus Crystal Palace.
There it is.
3-2.
Ask
3-2.
and you shall receive.
That's 2-3.
And I like
Right.
that too. I'm not the biggest West Ham fan, so.
And the
anybody
last
who-
result for two of you, although I'll go back for Beer Talk and Boris Britt, but the last result, the last game of the weekend is Manchester City versus the mighty Spurs.
Spurs getting the scalp. Spurs.
He exudes confidence, doesn't he, Adrian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
He exudes confidence and went for 0-1, which is lots of confidence because of clean sheet. But then
Yeah.
so did you, Adrian.
Yep.
Alex Hilton, 3-1 to City.
wow, Alex. No, but I mean, he's probably gonna. Yeah, I just think Vicario is gonna play well and surprise us all. And
Right, Boris, if you're saying a draw, you need to give me a prediction. What draw is it going to be? 4-2 to City from Beer Talk.
ooh, beer talk. No, I like everybody's honesty. Not feeling like they have to be,
So
What am I
2 from
trying to
Boris Britt. And now we're just waiting on Tom, and then I can go back to the first couple of games for Beer Talk, Boris Britt, and anyone else that wants to partake.
partaking.
So Tom, Man City Spurs, and for Boris and Beer Talk, can we go back to the first game again, please? Which
Sure thing.
is Arsenal Wolves.
You got it. There it is, right there, everybody.
Tom's gone 3-2 to Tottenham.
Nice. I love a confident Spurs fan. Love it.
So
Love it.
Tom, just because you're new today to this, so we do the predictions here on a Friday for the upcoming games, but because next week is different, week 14 is tomorrow and Sunday, and then on Monday on this show we'll give the results of who got what and the league table, and then after we give that out, we're going to straight go into the scores or the predictions for Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday next week, because there's midweek games. So week 15 is Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday's games. So I've got Beer Talk's going 1-2 because he something Arsenal. Is that right? What I read right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
I say Arsenal, I have to say 3-1 Arsenal due to Wolves. Okay, so 3-1 Arsenal. Right, the next game that we're going to for these two gentlemen is Brentford Luton.
Boom. And Brentford Luton is probably one of the tougher ones on here for me. It was a tough one for me. Do you guys think pretty easy? Were you pretty quick with your guesses, or did it take you guys some thought on that one as well?
On what? Sorry.
Oh, Brentford Luton was actually slightly a tougher decision than I thought it would be when I really got thinking about it.
For me, it weren't. I've gone 4-0. Next game is Burnley Sheffield United. We've got 8 people watching us, so there might be some more people. If you want to take part in this, just let us know, and we'll hear your scores and we'll put you into the predictions league for this week.
Boom. Yeah. So
It's Burnley, Sheffield United at the moment.
Boris Britt is here and says, I think Burnley will get a 1-0 win.
So Boris Britt is going Burnley 1-0.
1-1 says Beer Talk.
So Burnley 1-0, and then there's a 1-1. So Burnley the home side. No, Tot Spurs. Give me your scores from here, mate. If you want, you can give me your scores now if you want, Tot Spurs. Ain't a problem at all. We're currently on Burnley versus Sheffield United. So we've gone back, but we can take your scores in. And Beer Talk went 1-0, didn't he?
He did. I like Boris's point here that Burnley will have to win these games if they wish to stay up and if Company wishes to keep his job. It's a shame. He plays good football. I like the football that Burnley plays, and it's quite a stark contrast to the Burnley teams that I remember watching kind of growing up, I guess you could say. You know,
Sean Dyche's Burnley.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a far cry from that football, and I like the change. I think it's great. I just wish they had maybe the talent to kind of go with the idea, and I feel like this attacking football might cost them their place in the Premier League. But Beer Talk is 100% right. Burnley is fun to watch.
But in saying that, I think it's horses for courses, gentlemen. I think that you can only play with the personnel that you have at the club, and the personnel. It's the same as Wimbledon, and Adrian will remember Wimbledon. But Wimbledon back in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s before they went down, they had personnel and they could only play one certain way. So it doesn't matter what manager they brought in, they always played that same style of football. I think towards the end when they were on a decline, they brought in a Norwegian manager, if I remember rightly, and he brought Norwegian players in, and they tried to go from all their long ball stuff, they tried to go to a passing game, and that eventually ended up taking them down because they weren't used to that. And I think Burnley, under Sean Dyche, the players that he had to play long ball with the squad and the players that he had at the time. Now Company's brought in different players to play a different style of football. So, but it is what it is. Right. I'll move on to the next match. Oh, what's the point? Are you playing? What's the point?
Whoa, what's the point is back.
What's the point? If you're playing, we're looking for score between Arsenal Wolves.
Let me get this off to here. Oh, so let me get that changed. Score between Arsenal Wolves. What's the point? He says he's heading into for a bath. That sounds awfully nice. Sounds warm. Sounds cozy in this cold day. Boris Britt says, well, Dyche has proved his football still works with the points he got before the 10-point deduction. Yeah,
but what we were saying today, though, Boris, is that during the week, so during the international break, towards the end of it, they got given their 10-point deduction, and then 2 days later, they played at home to Manchester United, and they got drubbed 3-0. And so they're going to be down, I think, because of that, and then look into the position they are in the league. John Fitz is in the house. Sorry,
Whoa!
John Fitz. If you want to partake, you're not too late. I can put your results in, John Fitz. We're currently on Arsenal versus Wolves.
My guy, John Fitzpatrick. Good to see you, dude. It's been a long time. Hit me up on WhatsApp, man. I miss you. It's been forever. This is big up everyone. I said it on both channels too. What a real, true gentleman. Good guy right there, John Fitzpatrick.
So, John, if you want to take part, you and what's the point? We're currently on Arsenal versus Wolves. 3-1 Arsenal. Well done, John. And I don't know whether what's the point's coming back. So, can you move to the next score for John Fitz? Brentford Luton, John.
I sure can. Boom. And Fitzy, it's so good to see you, man. Hope everything's good. Hope you're keeping everybody in line in Ireland. I think you moved back home, right? Or are you still? I don't know. Don't want to give too much of someone's personal life away, but I know you're moving soon, and if you haven't, and so I hope that all goes really well, and I hope everybody's good, family's happy and healthy. Again, good to see you, man. Hit me up on WhatsApp. We need to chat. But
and the next So John's coming 1-0 Brentford. So the next game is Burnley Sheffield United.
There it is. So you are back home. The cold's killing you, man. It's killing me here too. Indiana. It is. It's a solid. Let's see how many we got. 9 degrees Celsius today. That's not terrible, I guess.
Is that what you are at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what I am. 1-0 he's gone for. At the moment, I'm on 2 degrees.
Yikes.
Right, the next game, and this is for John, Beer Talk, and Boris Britt. We're now on Nottingham Forest versus Everton.
Boom. Ooh, 50 says it's -2 there. Good God, man. Sorry. Hope it's dry at least. But if I know anything about that part of the world, it's probably misty and gross right now. It's 52 degrees Fahrenheit in Arkansas.
Right,
Good old Arkansas.
John Fitz has gone 2-1 to Everton. So 1-2.
And then Boris Britt
Yeah,
says 3-1 Everton.
that's 1-3.
Yep. And then Beer Talk 1-2.
1-2.
Yep.
So these late boys have all gone for away victories. Oh, how times
That's
have changed.
awesome. That's awesome. Hopefully they get it. They need it. I like Everton a little bit too. I don't hate Everton.
Newcastle, Manchester United, gentlemen.
Let me get that banner up for everybody.
Tot Spurs, you're missing the art. Oh no, you got the Arsenal. Why can't you do anything in order, Tot Spurs? 2-1 Brentford. (2-1) to Burnley. John Fitz is going 2-1 to Newcastle.
Boom. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game, Fitzy.
Beer Talk 2-1 to Newcastle.
Nice. Yeah, this is stupid. The one thing that I would say I liked Everton. One thing Boris hates about Everton is that they think we scammed him out of $20 million for Richie. If he was worth a price and then they agreed to sell him for a price, how did we scam them out of shit?
Oh, sorry, Boris. 1-0 to United. Is that Man United? Because there's Newcastle United and there's Man United.
I think
so.
it's
You're going 1-0 to. Well, this says 1-0 United. So I just want to make sure that I'm putting the correct prediction in.
Yeah, let us know, homie.
Yeah, Man United. So that's 0-1 then.
Boom.
And gentlemen, sorry, for two of you, it's the last score I need. For John, I continue. But the next game is Bournemouth, Aston Villa.
Let's get that pulled up. Bournemouth, Villa.
3-0 Arsenal.
So I'm excited to see what people have for this one.
1-2
50 says that he's got Villa winning 2-0.
Fitzy's got Villa 2-0, so that's 0-2.
Yep.
And then who have I got? We've got 2-1 Bournemouth for Boris. And then for Beer Talk, we have 3-0 to Villa, so 0-3. Right, so now for John Fitz, because I've got all the results for a lot of people, but for John Fitz, I've now got Chelsea-Brighton.
Chelsea-Brighton, let's get that pulled up just so he knows what's going on. Fitzy, Chelsea-Brighton. And hey, guys, if I do end up having to jump before we're done, I probably shouldn't. Got 19 minutes left till work, so we should be good. But just throwing that out there. I will have to go before too long. As everyone always says, Adrian, Beer Talk is digging your robe as well. Everybody likes it. Everybody likes the robe. He gets nothing but compliments on that robe, everybody.
eBay,
so,
£30 on eBay these are. I've got two.
See, check him out. He could probably find you the link if you needed it. Yeah, Adrian, you're a good man.
Right, so John Fitz has gone 3-2 to Brighton. So that's 2-3, yeah?
Yep. Correct.
And who's 3-1 Brighton? Beer Talk, you've already given me your score. And you did give me 3-1 to Brighton. You're done, Beer Talk. It's just John Fitz we're catching up with now. The next game is Liverpool versus Fulham for John. There's
Liverpool
10 people here. If
Fulham.
any of you want to quickly join in, you may do so. And if you can't join in for whatever reason, you can always either hit us up on the on WhatsApp,
Comments. Yeah,
or on the comments on the video. 2-0 to the pool. Right, so John, we're now on West Ham Crystal Palace for you, pal.
my guy, John Fitzpatrick. I really dig this music, by the way. It's bouncy, positive, upbeat music. It's good stuff. 50 says 1-1.
And the last but not least is the big game of the weekend. It's Manchester City versus Tottenham.
And real quick, I just wanted to say the Beer Talk says, hit the damn like button. It looks like this. And then puts a thumbs up. Big up, Beer Talk. You're the man. We appreciate
3-1
you.
to City.
Boom.
Right, so just to recap for everyone's delight, we have Arsenal Wolves. We have 4-0 from me, a 2-1 from Colin, 4-2 from Chris, a 3-0 from Totspurs, a 3-1 from Josh, 0-1 Adrian, 3-0 Alex Hilton, 3-1 Tom Markinen, 1-2 Beer Talk, 3-1 Boris Britt, 3-1 Ellie, 3-1 John Fitz, 3-1 Nita R. Brentford Luton, you have 4-0 from me, 2-2 from Colin, 3-1 Chris Meta Football, 2-1 Totspurs, 2-1 Josh, Adrian 1-2, a 2-0 from Alex Hilton, a 2-1 from Tom Markinen, 2-0 Beer Talk, 2-1 Boris Britt, 2-0 Ellie, 1-0 John Fitz, and 2-1 Nita R. Burnley versus Sheffield United. We have 3-0 from me, 0-1 Colin, 2-0 Chris, 2-1 Totspurs, a Desmond from Josh, 2-1 for Adrian and Alex Hilton, a 1-0 from Tom Markinen, a 1-0 from Beer Talk, 1-0 Boris Britt, 2-1 for Ellie, 1-0 from John Fitz, and 2-3 from Nita R. Forest versus Everton. I have 3-0, Colin 1-1, Chris 2-1, Totspurs 1-2, Josh 2-1, Adrian 2-0, Alex 2-1, Tom 2-2, Beer Talk 1-2, Boris Britt 1-3, Ellie 2-2, John Fitz 1-2, Nita R 1-2. Newcastle, Manchester United. You have me 3-0, Colin 3-1, Chris 4-1, Totspurs 3-1, Josh 4-2, Adrian 3-2, Alex 3-2, Tom 3-2, Beer Talk 2-1, Beer Talk 2-1, Boris Britt 0-1, Ellie 1-1, John Fitz 2-1, Nita R 2-all. Bournemouth, Aston Villa. You have me 2-0, Colin 1-1, Chris Desmond, Totspurs 1-3, Josh 2-1, Adrian 2-1, Alex Hilton on a Desmond, Tom Markinen 2-1, Beer Talk 1-3, Boris Britt 1-3, Ellie Desmond, John Fitz 2-3, Nita R 3-2. Liverpool versus Fulham. You've got me with 4-0. You have Colin 3-1, Chris Meta 3-1, Totspurs 3-1, Josh 4-0, Adrian 3-2, Alex 2-0, Tom 3-0, Beer Talk 2-0, Boris Britt 2-1, Ellie 3-0, John Fitz 2-0, Nita R 3-1. Everybody has gone and predicted a home win for Liverpool, and there's a whole range of scores. The only way that nobody scores a point in that is if it's a draw or Fulham win. Yeah. West Ham Crystal Palace. You have me 2-1, Colin 2-0, Top Spurs and Chris Meta 2-1. You have Josh 3-2, Adrian 1-1, Alex 2-0, Tom Markinen 2-3, Beer Talk on a Desmond, Boris Britt 1-1, Ellie 2-1, John Fitz 1-all, Nita R 2-1. Right. Manchester City versus Tottenham, the last game of the weekend. We have me 1-2, Colin 0-1, Chris Meta 4-1 City, Tot Spurs is on a Desmond, Josh 3-2 to City, Adrian 2-0 to Tottenham, Alex Hilton 3-1 to City, Tom Markinen 3-2 to Tottenham, Beer Talk 4-2 to City. We've got Boris and Ellie both sitting on Desmond's, and John Fitz and Nita R have both gone 3-1 City. They are the results that we have so far from people. The only other way that we're going to receive any results is people watching this back. Again, you can either text us on Talk and Ball or on the show and in the comments, and I'll pick it up from the comments. Or you can, if you've got us on WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp us and we'll add your scores. All scores can only be added up until the point that that game hasn't started. So let's say, for argument's sake, someone forgets. Is there a 12:30 match tomorrow? I'll tell you now.
I don't think so.
The first game tomorrow.
3 o'clock.
Okay. So all games start at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Right, what's the point? You're leaving. If you want, at the end of this, you can put down your results in the comments by the video, and we'll put your scores in if you want. What's the point? Because you played last week as well. Anyone that wants to put the predictions, it's either do it on WhatsApp or do it on comment on the video anytime before 3 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, and then we'll get you in.
Boom, boom. I think that sounds perfect. Jose, you said it all really well. And then Monday, like you said, we'll do the results for the weekend, and then we'll get the predictions for the next week's matches. Yeah,
because they're all playing midweek. So week 15 will be starting on Tuesday. And Tottenham, obviously, next week we're playing Thursday. So I think there's 2 games or 3 games on the Tuesday. There's a load of games on the Wednesday, and then we're then playing on the Thursday.
Yep, exactly.
Just to be exact, there's 2 games. There's 2 games on the Tuesday. There's 6 games on the Wednesday, and there's 2 games on the Thursday. We're at home to West Ham, so there's 2 games on the Thursday. And I've got a feeling that the football next week, if you want to watch it, because I know, Adrian, you'll be at the game, but for people that are not going to be at the game or want to watch any of the other games, I think Amazon Prime are showing them next week.
Oh, cool.
I think.
Good call there. That's awesome. Nice little bit of info.
Yeah, there we go. And we just had Nick come in. Nice to see you, Nick. I hope everything's going well. I hope work's well. I hope the family's well and that. Would like to. Well, Christmas can't come soon enough for you to enjoy it and that, and then relax after Christmas, and we'll see you back in the community a bit more then, mate. Adrian, you got any final thoughts?
No, looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, because we've had some bizarre games. None more bizarre than Chelsea at home. So then the Villa game, never a dull moment with Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Agreed completely. Yeah. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who's tuned in. As I always like to put up here, thanks to everyone watching. The show isn't anything without you guys in the chat, kind of helping to fuel things and keep us moving forward. We really appreciate everybody that comes in here. We hope you appreciate it back and are having some fun being here. We're sure having fun. So just wanted to again say thanks to everybody for tuning in. see you guys next time. And then Eltel Cockrell on Twitter is Jose.
Yes, it's Eltel Cockrell. I'm there as well if you wanted it, Hotspurs, just in case.
Yep. So go ahead and grab us on there, and then we can exchange WhatsApp info and all that good stuff. But yeah, guys, it's been awesome. It's awesome being back.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be back.
We have started a WhatsApp group, and I'm going to speak to Colin after this. But yeah, if we could get people and our viewers into our group, then that would be good, because that's one way of messaging us, one way of you finding out about the shows, and we can have a little bit of interaction on there. Colin is a keyboard warrior. You send a message to Colin, you're getting a response, whatever happens, because Colin loves it all. The to and fro of typing away, Colin loves it.
I do. I really do. I don't know why. But yeah, guys, I think that's a nice little spot to cut it for the day. So let's leave them out with, let's play them out with our favorite song until we get them back. We're gonna play it every day. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. See you next time. I'm Colin, and that's Adrian and Jose with me. Thank you so much for joining, and have a wonderful Friday, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Thank you very much.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.